Hello and welcome to Fungi of the North. Today I'm out here in the beautiful forests of southern Norway, hunting a few edibles. So what I'm hoping to find is the penny bun, because I've heard rumors that it has started to appear now. So tag along, let's see what we can find. So, I decided to start this video with a slight curveball, and it's this one. And this is a Milkcap. This is the Lactarius camphoratus, better known as the curry Milkcap.
This is actually a pretty great edible and a very underrated one as well, but it is one of my favorites. At first glance it may seem modest with its reddish brown cap gently transitioning to a central depression as it ages. When broken, like this mushroom exudes a slightly cloudy milky sap, like someone has mixed equal parts milk and water. That's mild or even faintly sweet to taste. When dried, these small mushrooms release a surprising scent, like curry, hence the name, the curry Milkcap. Others detect maple syrup or maybe a whisper of camphor. In parts of Europe, curry Milkcaps are dried, then crushed into a fine powder and used as seasoning, imparting depth to soups, sauces or stews with their unique aroma. I like to cook it with just butter and a pinch of salt and pepper as a garnish.
Here we have another great edible mushroom. This is the Hydnum rufescens, or the Terracotta Hedgehog, as it's commonly called. And this one does not have gills underneath, nor pores. It has these spines, or spikes. I'll place some macro photos here so you can see it better.
The name Terracotta Hedgehog is no exaggeration. Its cap ranges from bright orange red to warm terracotta, and the cap is often quite uneven and lobed in shape, and the soft spines tend to not run down the stem. The stem is often centered and quite firm in texture. This mushroom often forms so-called fairy rings in coniferous woodlands.
In my opinion, this mushroom, it kind of tastes like the Chanterelle, but it's a bit firmer in texture, in my opinion. So, I didn't find a lot of these at the moment. Usually I find like these huge carpets, but now, just this one. Down here we have another great edible, and I'm really happy to find this one. This is a Russula. And this species is a Russula vesca, often called the Flirt. And basically almost all Russulas are very, very good edible mushrooms. And there's a simple taste test you can do, because some of these Russulas have a slightly sharp taste. But if they are mild, they are edible. So what you can do when you find a Russula and have identified it as a Russula, you can just take a little bite of it. Like so. Chew it lightly. And leave it on the tip of your tongue. This one does not get sharp, so this is a great edible. I already knew that because I know this mushroom, but this is a simple test you can do once you have identified something as a Russula, because some of them, very sharp, not this one. To actually find out if this is a Russula or not, there's a few things you can do. First of all, you can check the gills, because Russulas have another name. They're called brittle gills. So if you just drag your finger across them, they break off very easy, like this. Also, they have a kind of a weird texture, because they break like chalk or an apple, like this. Because almost every other mushroom, they don't break like this. They break more into like fibers, long fibers. This one does not. Breaks cleanly off. Down here we have not a penny bun, this one, but it is the penny bun's distant cousin, I would say. This is a brown birch bolete.
If we look underneath the cap, we can see that it doesn't have gills nor spines, but sponge-like tubes or pores, so it's one of the bolete mushrooms. On the stem, this mushroom has these small granules known as scabers, and these types of boletes are often referred to as scaber stalks. This mushroom is an edible, but it is said to be mediocre at best, a type of penny bun from wish.com, so we'll just leave it here and call it Plan B for now.
But right after, here's the one we have been looking for. This. Wow. This is the penny bun, or the porcini, or the king bolete. It has many names. Let's see if we can pick it up. Here we go. Look at this. A beautiful example of a penny bun. And we can see the key identifier here as well. Because if you see just on the stem there, where the stem meets the cap, there's this white reticulated pattern. And this is a key identifier for the penny bun, at least here in Norway.
Small correction here due to a slight language barrier. We do have some closely related species of bolete which also have this reticulated pattern, like the summer bolete and the pine bolete. In Scandinavia, the penny bun is directly translated to stone mushroom, and the summer bolete and the pine bolete are the pale stone mushroom and the reddish-brown stone mushroom, just to clear things up.
White reticulation on the stem, close to the cap. Also, we can see the pores are mainly white here, grayish white. This will turn yellow when the mushroom matures. And on the cap, it looks like a freshly baked bun. It usually does. This beautiful lightish brown color that it has. And this is one of the best edibles we have. We do have a few lookalikes for this, so pay close attention to all the identifiers on the mushroom. First of all, we have something called the bitter bolete. But that one has slightly pink tubes or pores. Also, we have that scaber stalk, or that brown birch bolete we found a minute ago. And we also have some others, but at least here in Scandinavia, we don't have poisonous boletes at all. We have something called a Satan's bolete, but that is extremely rare. And here in Norway, we have never found it. So what I'd like to do when I find this out in the wild, I basically take off all the dirt at the bottom of the stem. You don't want to clean 50 of these when you come home tired after a long forage. So this is how I do it. Just one perfect example. I couldn't see any else around here, but let's go and see if we can find some more of these. Wow, perfect. Here's another one. And this is a slightly older specimen, so we can see that some snails have been here eating at it. So I wouldn't take this home, but at least we can see that these pores have started turning yellow on this one. God damn. Here's another beauty. I can safely say that the rumors that the penny bun had started appearing is correct. This one feels very healthy and nice. Let's see if we can pick it. Perhaps I should cut it instead. This one looks perfect. Yeah, no insects at all. Look at this perfect specimen. Beginning to turn a bit yellow, so it's kind of off-white, creamy white. Still with the same reticulation on the stem. A stem that is like white beige on this beautiful freshly baked bun cap. For some unknown reason, I always see people do this when they find penny buns. Pat them on the head. Here we have another penny bun. A young one. This is basically just a button. But directly behind it, there's another great edible that every forager should know. And this is of course the Chanterelle. Look at these beautiful decurrent false gills. And this beautiful yellow, red, orange color. This is perhaps the first mushroom every starter forager should learn, apart from the very poisonous ones. This is a great edible. I've even made a video dedicated to this. My first mushroom spotlight video. You can see it up there if you haven't already. So I'll pick a few Chanterelles as well. This is very, very good. Also, another key identifier for the Chanterelle is that it's always white on the inside. There, I just tore it in half. And we can see all white flesh. This is how you distinguish this one from the false Chanterelle. The false Chanterelle is more orange in color, but it does not have this white fleshy inside that we can see here. Here we have an example of what can happen and tends to happen quite often with the penny bun. It gets infected with by a parasitic mushroom, this mold-like mushroom. Gives it almost this white sticky coating, and also the mushroom is very sick because the stem and the base of the mushroom kind of bloats up and the cap remains small and it's very soft and mushy. And if you smell this, it smells like rotten fish. So this is not edible anymore, I'm sorry to say. Here we have another great edible. This is the Hydnum repandum, and it's very similar to the species we found at the beginning of the trip, the Terracotta Hedgehog. This is a wood hedgehog. It's equally tasty, I must say. This one is a lot paler. It's like pale yellowish pink, with these yellowish pink spines as well. Just like the other one, this one has spines. But on the Terracotta Hedgehog, the spine tends to be up in the cap and directly underneath the cap. On the wood hedgehog, the spines can run down the stem like this. It's typical. In taste, they are very similar. Equally good. And I actually rate this a bit over the Chanterelle, in my opinion. Texture is a bit firmer, and an all-round great nutty flavor it has. Awesome. Just found these two, but I'll find more, I hope. So, what you can do if you want to spread the growth of this one, the hedgehog mushroom, you can actually just take a nail and scrape off the spines like this and let them fall to the forest floor. This way, you can actually help spread the spores of the mushroom. It's a 1,000,000 to 1 chance it will work, but it can. So I always do this when I find hedgehog mushrooms. Just take them, scrape a little with my fingernail, and try to spread the spores.
Just as I was walking home, I found this very dark milkcap. This is a Lactarius lignyotus, often called a velvet milkcap or the chocolate Milky. You can see how the cap looks almost black or deep brown with this very soft velvety surface. If I turn it over, the gills are fairly pale to begin with and a kind of creamy color. But they can get slightly yellowish or even a little orange as the mushroom matures. And if I break the gills, you'll notice it produces a white latex, just like the curry milkcap we found earlier. It's a species that grows with conifers, especially spruce, so this is the kind of habitat where you'd expect to find it. Edibility-wise, it is classed as edible, but not really valued for the table among the experts, but I tend to disagree. I like it. So you should try it for yourself if you come across this black and white beauty. It's been a good walk today. I've come across some beautiful mushrooms, quite a few penny buns, and even a handful of other edibles along the way. Always nice when the forest offers both variety and abundance. What I enjoy most is not only the food they provide, but the small encounters along the path. Please follow my Instagram if you want to see more of the species I find on my walks. Link in the description. Or subscribe to my channel, as I will be covering a wide array of mushrooms in the future. Anyway, now with the basket a little heavier and the day is drawing to a close, I'll head home and make something with what I've gathered. That's always the best part, bringing a piece of the forest back to the table. Thanks for joining me on this walk, and I'll hope you'll come along for the next one.